which is being generated by the generators is carried over thousands of kilometers through overhead transmission lines or through underground cables, and wherever the requirement is there, it is being utilized. So we'll go to some of these aspects gradually in this curriculum. Now, this whole process, once we have so many, circuits, basically the electricity has to be conducted through circuits. You need wires to conduct electricity. So it basically results in a very complex circuitry, which is known as a grid. And so once it is a complex circuitry, any problem in the circuit is going to affect your the services. Okay, if there is a wire snaps, just like whenever these huge storms are coming, or there is some other natural calamity, many of these poles are uprooted, and it basically results in the disruption of the circuitry, and there is an interruption. Now, this power is produced from various sources. I will discuss about the various sources. Now, the current trend is to use renewable and pollution-free sources and reduce the carbon footprint. Okay, that means power is being generated from many sources. So it is basically an energy conversion. That is, energy is converted one from to another. But the current trend is to use renewable and pollution-free sources and reduce carbon footprint. Carbon footprint means burning of the carbon. If you burn fossil fuel, if you burn coal, or if you burn gas, basically we are producing CO2, which is actually polluting the atmosphere, which is polluting the ozone layer and everywhere. And in fact, today morning I was reading a news article. No, I read it yesterday. I was reading in a news article that all these uh, the problem that we are facing in the pandemic situation, there is a lot of problem in the Delhi region because of it is all due to the pollution, and this pollution is actually aggravating this pandemic situation.
Hello, sir.
Sir, I'm
Sir,
sorry, you
you
are
are
muted.
you have
Sir, you are
muted
muted.
yourself.
Sir, you are muted.
Sir, you are muted. Sir, you are muted.
Sir, your voice is not coming.
Okay, can you hear
Yes,
now?
sir.
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, sir. It's
Yes,
audible.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes,
It's
sir.
audible.
Yes,
Yes,
sir.
sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
So can you see this slide?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir.
Yes, sir. I can see.
Yes, sir.
We are able
Yes,
to.
sir.
So the current trend is to use these renewable and pollution-free sources. We'll introduce in this class. So these discussions were not there in the earlier syllabus. So we will do a little bit of discussion on these renewable and pollution-free sources. And the curriculum is made such that it is required for all branches of engineering to teach them the bare essential knowledges of electrical engineering that is basically required in our day-to-day life. Now, the fundamental forms of energy, these are the different forms of energy. There's some general talk I will give, then I will gradually come to this electrical engineering part. So we have this mechanical engineering, mechanical energy. We have the sources of thermal or heat energy, electromagnetic energy, electrical energy, nuclear energy, and chemical energy. Now I'll just quickly, but the source of all our energy is basically the sun. So the source of practically all of our energy is basically the sun. This we have been, studying from our school days. Okay, because sun gives every energy. All the fossil fuel that is there, it is not nothing but some decomposed, living beings, which actually needed the sun for its development and growth. Now, mechanical energy is due to the energy due to the objects in motion. Okay, suppose if you have this type of bowling balls, you basically throw the ball and this the pins falls. What is actually happens is the energy is being transferred, and so that is basically the transfer of mechanical energy. Now these are the different examples of mechanical energy, like if somebody is skiing or swimming, or a rocket is going. It is basically an enormous amount of mechanical energy is required in different forms. Okay, just I put this material for completeness. Some of you will be coming to the campus, and you will also be doing different types of sports. So this is basically a conversion of mechanical energy. Similarly, in electromagnetic energy is the energy that is transmitted through the gamma rays, the X-rays, the ultraviolet rays, visible light, infrared rays, and so on. So that is the source of electromagnetic energy. Now, what is electrical energy? It is basically the energy caused by the movement of electrons. And one advantage of electrical... Yeah, any question? So one advantage of electrical energy is it can be transported through power lines and converted to other forms of energy. So I think all of you have seen this type of transmission lines. Anybody there who has not seen this type of lines?
No, sir.
No.
No. No. Who is telling no? Anybody who has not seen this type of structure? So when you are traveling...
Sir, should we write notes?
You can keep writing.
Should we write notes?
It will gradually will find that I am in the middle of the syllabus. Lot of mathematics will start. You should write. You should maintain a separate copy and all. So what is this electrical energy? It is basically caused by the movement of electrons. And electricity, the one advantage of electricity is it can be transported by this type of power lines. Okay, once there is the electricity available, and these type of structures are available, and they are connecting by wires, electricity can be transported over thousands of kilometers. It is not just several kilometers. Some electricity generated in Jharkhand, as I told you, may be transported till Bombay. Okay, and what you actually need is this type of towers. And I'm sure that all of you have seen these type of towers when you travel. When you travel by road or you travel by train, you must have seen these type of transmission towers, which is there throughout our country. It connects the east with the west, west with the south, south with the north, north with the east, and northeast with the northeast. Everywhere it is these towers connect the electricity. So what actually happens is the power is produced at some place, and through using these towers, they're dispatched to another parts of the country, which can be several thousand kilometers away, where there is a requirement. Okay, if you consider the city of say Calcutta, it is a huge city. There is a lot of requirement of power. Okay, so it will be transmitted from the other parts where the generators are through these type of transmission lines. Now, again, in short, about chemical energy, which is basically, the energy that is obtained by the release of chemical reactions. And so, just if we light a matchstick, we basically get the heat out of burning of some chemicals. The energy stored is obtained in the form of heat. The examples of chemical energy, like if you have a piece of coal, okay, so it basically contains some energy, and we can only obtain the energy from it by burning it. Okay, so if the energy is stored inside this hard piece, so we can only obtain it by burning the coal. Similarly, this basically shows a piece of battery. Okay, the battery, when you purchase the battery, it basically contains energy, and you use the battery for doing several things. Maybe for, it is there in your TV remote, or it is there inside any torch, or it is there in some other calculator. Everywhere you need a battery to work. So that is basically conversion of the chemical energy. Similarly, if you have just a piece of candy, that will also contains energy that can be utilized. Similarly, there are other forms of energy, which is the thermal energy. Okay. So which is the heat that is there in the source. It can be utilized for other purposes. Now we will basically come to the different sources of energy that are required for our electrical engineering purpose. Okay. So one basic place where the power is generated in electrical engineering is basically the thermal power station. Why thermal power? Because India has a lot of coal. In India, we generate power by burning coal because we have a lot of coal. There is a lot of coal in Jharkhand. There is a lot of coal in Madhya Pradesh. There is a lot of coal in the Tamil Nadu. You must have all studied this in your school level, in your geography classes and all. But they are again of different types, different categories, and so using this coal, by burning this coal, we can extract the energy. So that is the basic principle of thermal power station. So this is a thermal power station. It looks like when you see a thermal power station, you can identify clearly a thermal power station from outside because it will have this type of structures which are called chimneys, which actually gives out lot of these flue gases. Okay, so this is a thermal